Hey guys, Dark Prometheus here. We got knocked out of the playoffs, losing to the Seahawks 38 to 31. Ironically, it's the same score we beat the division game, and it was just a heartbreaker. We gave up two unanswered touchdowns late, and we just could not pull it together. So, this is going to be a roundup of everything. So, let's look at the stats for this season. Player stats. 15. So RG3 came in. He played about 5 games. So I think it should say, yeah, 5 games. So the 5 games, 107% rating, 889 yards, 2 touchdowns, or 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked 8 times. Good completion percentage, well, decent, 64. Fails came in. He had 103. The issue with that is 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. I mean, I could not get it going with him. Sacked 13 times. Can't really scramble away. Cutler, 2,400 yards, 21 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Remember, 5 of those interceptions were week one. And Holland threw a pass that was incomplete. Or he threw a couple passes that were incomplete. Rushing Forte, had a decent year. 1,100 yards. Langford, 39 touches, 171. He really came into the playoffs having some good stuff. Forte had 9 touchdowns. Langford had 4. Cutler rushed for 2. That's for fumbles. Cutler had 3. Fails had 1. And Jeffrey had 1. So not a lot of fumbles, which is nice. The longest run, Forte had one of 34. RG3 was 36. Langford had one of 17, but the one in the playoff was about 30 or 40 plus. We might be moving on and using Langford more. Receiving, we had a decent amount of injuries at receiver. Kevin White was out some games. Then Alshon Jeffrey was out some games. And Tyrese Ingram was out some games. Really, the only one consistently that played was Marquise Wilson, who was in our slot. And when everyone else was hurt, it was up between Ingram, Tavon Austin got hurt, Cameron Meredith had to come in. I mean, we had a lot of injuries at receiver. So it was a lot of committee. Kevin White, 9 touchdowns, almost 800 yards. Forte, 58 catches, 570 yards. Marquise Wilson, 4 touchdowns, 57 catches, 696. Zachary Cole was a big rock as he was healthy all year long. 56 catches, almost 800 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And Ingram with that speed, a couple screens with him, a couple of plays for just short yardage and let him run down the field with some good vision. Now sacks. Matt Khalil, who's playing on the right side, gave it 12 sacks, twice as many as anyone else. Slauson's getting older. We do have, I think it's Estes. I don't think it's Hankins. I think it is Jordan Estes. Estes, whatever. I believe he is the one that's going to be playing on the left side. Jokio only gave up 3 sacks this year, playing better than he did the year before. Grisai gave up 3, Long gave up 4, but still some good play by our linemen. On defense, Amos, always the premier guy in the defense. 152 tackles, and I believe he was hurt for 2 or 3 games too. Let's see. He was out for 1 game. Shane McClellan, 105. Brian, 82. Solo wise, though, that's Amos by a lot. Sacks. Akeem Ayers had 13, had a couple multiple sack games. Pernell McPhee had 7.5. Grimes had 4.5, coming up from his rookie season and his sophomore season. Courtney Upshaw, 3.5. Really just a guy who's just a good run stopper. Denterius Roberts, a couple blitzes. Same thing with Shea, Christian Jones. Mark Houston had a couple. Amos Miller had some blitzes. And from there, interceptions. D. Milner had 6 in that slot. Tracy Porter had 6, putting it on good. Adrian Amos, Kyle Fuller had 2. Akeem Ayers had 1. Shea McCullen and Brock Vereen. Now that one in the playoff with, I believe it's Malcolm Pleasant. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. By Malcolm Pleasant was just a good heads-up play. Let's look at forced fumbles. We only had 3. Tracy Porter, Julius Grimes, and Christian Jones. So that needs to continue. Akeem Ayers did have a safety, 4 defensive touchdowns. D. Miller had 2. Akeem Ayers, Pernell McPhee, Tracy Porter, Adrian Amos, and Kyle Fuller all had 1. Robbie Gold, good as gold all year long. Just missed 1 extra point. I wasn't paying attention on that one. Punting, Pat O'Donnell has a good punt average, getting it downfield at 50 yards, just about. Has some bad touches, but a lot of them just get the ball downfield, which is nice. I like his kick power. On kick return, Titarius Ingram had 2 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, took it 46 times. Punt return, still Tavon Austin, touched it 15 times, 161, while Bo Austin took it 3 times for 90 yards, but that was with a lot of wind. Let's look how we compare to the rest of the NFL. Yards, 47. So it is Jeffrey Owens. Let's start looking at actually some team stats that we didn't look at. Best total offense in the league was the Jaguars. Looks like we're just about the middle. Probably in the lower half of the league. Passing yards. Top 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we are 10. Rushing yards, though, probably one of the least. Yeah. First down. Had one of the highest first down ratings, though. On defense, best unit in the league was the Panthers. We are somewhat in the top 15 teams. Passing wise, can be Seahawks, of course. Yeah, we're the bottom third of the league. The Panthers have the best against the rush. We're in the top 10 there. Sacks. Titans have 65 sacks on defense. Damn. They're probably one of the lowest totals. It was top 15. Fumble recoveries, only 4. So the worst of fumbles. For interceptions, we had the most interceptions, though, for 21. Now let's look at conversions. We had the least amount of attempts. We're in top 5 in efficiency. We had to go for it a fairly high amount on 4th down. Most time we did get it. Red zone efficiency. So we had the most attempts. Chargers did. Probably, know, about half. Touchdowns. Steelers had the most touchdowns. We're in the top 5 or top 10. Field goals, which is good. We're about the middle to the lower part. Our efficiency is third best in the league. Panthers have the most red zone defensive trips. The best touchdown to lot ratio is the Titans. Are in the middle. We had 35 penalties. We had the least in the league. Didn't seem like it. The turnover differential. Seahawks have the highest. Seahawks have the least amount of giveaways, too. We gave the ball away 25 times. We had the most interceptions at 23. Tied for the least amount of fumbles. 25 is still Cardinals have the most takeaways. That's how many we threw. But we took away 21. We had the least amount of fumbles, though. That's something we need to improve on in the off season. Will be to figure out what to do with that little issue we're having, creating turnovers. Also, we might look at what to do with some guys when it comes to re-signings and things like that. Also, I did notice our scouts. We'll make sure our scout is a certain part when it comes to re-signing the staff. I know the scout kind of gives the higher the level, the better accuracy it has at not just the ratings, but placing it if the guy is a mid first round pick to what his grades are, to if his grades translate to a top 10 one. And we're going to have a lot to look at this offseason. We're going to reevaluate this roster a lot. I mean, looking at it, a couple A's are with Long. Grissel will continue to mold himself. Khalil's continuing, but I think he's pretty much going to hit his cap. Slauson's going to start degrading from here. So we might see Estes come up behind Slauson. Jokiel is doing better, but as he begins to age, we're going to have to look to draft a tackle. One of the people that actually left a comment on one of the off-season videos last time had mentioned I should have gotten a tackle, and I ended up passing him up. And I'm kicking myself for it just because of the sole fact that we could have had a good left, or at least a possibly good right tackle, anchor the line for years to come, and it could just be a battle between Jokiel and Khalil this year. Otherwise, I've given up 13 sacks on one side and 6 on the other. When it comes to receivers, Saber B, although Kevin White is going to grow a lot this upcoming season. Marquise Wilson had an alright year. Alshon Jeffrey was banged up a little bit, but had an alright year. Cameron Meredith will hit in the 70s. Tavon Austin will probably hit in the high 70s as well. Forte is going to go down probably in the high 80s. With Langford playing like this, he's probably going to rise up into the lower 80s with Bo Austin. Kadeem Carey is really just our fullback, but we might look at a fullback either in the offseason or something else and start using Kadeem Carey as like a third running back. At quarterback, we still have Cutler, but we're going to look for a quarterback in the future in the offseason. That's one of the things. On defense, Amos is putting it on. Varine's a good backup to come in on those safety linebacker hybrid plays, as well as Roberts is good at coming in like that. Morrison, we'll see if we can get him up there more as well. I believe he's slated as the fourth corner above Terrence Mitchell. So we might see what Morrison can do. Also, if Tracy Porter, he was a 69 going into this year, and he raced up to a 72 because it's a good play. We'll have to see what else he can actually do this year. For the end, I might bump out Akeem Ayers or he's our highest sack total. It's good there, but I need to anchor this line more. Grimes is good. He'll only get better. Gardner's playing behind Goldman, so we'll see him a little bit. What I like to do is I'd like to kick Gardner out to the right end position and have these guys as the front three, if I put it, or these guys, and the Ayers is kicked out. But Upshaw has been doing a fabulous job against the run, so that's one of the things I don't want to do. Is I have the guy's been closing down the run on one side of the football, and then a guy who's giving me the most sacks. McPhee also had our next with 7.5 sacks. And plus, he had some games where there was a lot of key sacks late in the game. Middle linebacker, though. We're keeping Pleasant. Burrow might walk. We're obviously going to keep Christian Jones. McClellan is just on that cusp of I don't know what to do with him. I mean, I need some more speed in the linebacker core. When it comes to Brian's been playing some good football, so of course we're going to keep him there. Our kicker is not going to change until Robbie Gold retires, and Pat O'Donnell probably won't change until I come across something better. I like our tandem here between Tavon Austin and Bo Austin, although Tyrese Ingram can easily walk in for Tavon Austin if I have to cut him or leave it. Langford, well, the guy is going to be a beast. Zachary Cole has the most upgrades on the team, and that's one thing that's big as well, is what this team is going to look like after this season and what we're going to add. I mean, and just a little preview. We'll see who's signed. Obviously, I'll do this when I live stream. I'll see who re-signed. So Javion Clowney re-signed 6 years, just about $40 million. Brian Stork, Laurent Durnay Tardif, the Chiefs. Glover Quinn re-signed the Lions. Cam Chancellor re-signed the Seahawks. Atkins and Vontez Burfict. Vontez Burfict would have been a good piece to put with our linebacker core. Sitton re-signs Corey Glenn, C.J. Mosley. That would have been another good piece. Graham Gano. Michael Bennett stays in Seattle. Andrew Luck re-signed. That must be a glitch. Aaron Rodgers re-signed another 3 years. We re-signed Matt Slauson this year for a 3 year, $10 million deal. We kept Pat O'Donnell, Eagle Ferguson for like $1 million a year. Will Sutton for just about the league minimum for 3 years. We signed Kyle Fuller to a 7-year, $47.7 million contract. We want him to anchor this defense. We signed Robbie Gold already. Tressway, Khalil Mack, he was never going to leave Oakland. 7-year, almost $100 million. Aaron Donald, another 7-year, almost $100 million. Justin Tucker got re-signed. Ezekiel Anza, $7 million, 96. Sloan Michaels, 4-year, $2 million, league minimum. We start going to the draft from there. Alright, so we saw the sign-ins. Let's do a little preview of who would need to be re-signed as well before we end this. And possibly who is a free agent. Let's see. So Young, Pleasant, Houston, Borough, Grisau, Christian Jones, Zach Miller, Adrian Amos, Fales, Marquise Wilson, RG3, Eddie Goldman, Tracy Porter, Langford, Mitchell, Vereen, Carey, Meredith, McClellan, Briggs, White, Kyrie Lee, Holland goes starts the 2 years. So that is big. Hmm. We're taking a hit 9.76 million this year. Next year is 13.1. We have 42 million in cap space. We might let Lamar Houston walk. We'll resign Grisau. And we'll start looking at that. Also, let's see some intriguing guys here. Jackson, that's one of their backups. Joe Mays. TJ Ward is coming up too, if he doesn't get re-signed. Let's see, Smith. Start looking for some key guys. Really, I don't see too many. Jamal Charles 1 year. Travis Kelsey has a year. Vontae Davis, if they let him walk, although he is 30. Zach Martin, but they'll re-sign him, of course. Over in Miami, this is a big thing with Sean Smith, Devin Coleman, Jason Cameron, Darius Slay, Brandon Albert. There's a lot of players coming up in their contracts, so we might be able to snag someone there. Fletcher Cox, if they don't re-sign him, that's a big one too. If he actually walks. That's Jordan Matthews, Greg Sirline. A little too old. The Bears looked at him a couple years ago. Look at this. Vic Beasley is coming up on his contract. That would be something to kick him out to the outside. Navarre Bowman's coming up too. Lynch, Jenkins, Flowers still get re-signed. So will Beckham. DRC would be someone we'd bring in. Victor Cruz. Brian Linder. Damn, look at those ratings. They did pick up Monte Te'o. Sean Richardson, that would be a big one. Eric Decker. Calvin Pryor, if they let him walk, that would be strange. All the key players over with our rivals in Detroit have been signed. Corey Linsley and Clay Matthews both need to be re-signed. And Jordy Nelson. And Randall Cobb. And Haha Clinton Dix. And okay, so there's going to be some guys over there. Star Lutulele, Kelvin Benjamin, Ben Rinkery, Thomas Davis, Jalen Cosmic Solder. There are some good players we can reach and take in the draft. Andre Smith is okay. Robert Ayers. Michael Brockers. Cooper's not going anywhere. Darren Sproles. Curtis Lofton. Rams. Jared Cook, Brandon Mebane, Gurley and Mason. What about on the Ravens? Flacco, Will Hill, Terrell Suggs. They'll probably let him go. Jimmy Smith, Tommy Jordan again. They'll resign him. Looking through, Chris Culliver, he's 30. Stephen Paye is 30. Sean Jackson's 31. One of the big things we're probably going to have to do is look for those guys in not so much need, but that can upgrade our team. Lynch, Britt, Owens, really nothing. Ooh, Antonio Brown, but he'll be resigned. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. Now, I have seen this. Ryan Shazier squeezing through. If Ryan Shazier squeezes through the Steelers, that's going to be one of our takes. And we will overspend for Ryan Shazier. Brown, Hugh Moore, Lee. See anything big there? Joel Casey would be one, but he'll definitely be resigned. Derek Morgan, Brian Arakpo, Avery Williamson. He'll definitely be resigned, probably. I have seen Harrison Smith squeeze through, but at 30 years old, I don't know. AP, Terrence Knight, 32. So we'll lock up Anthony Barr. Bridgewater Sullivan, Mike Wallace, Trey Waynes. So that gives you a preview who could be going in the offseason. Obviously, some people we tagged. We'll tag some people and we'll see how it looks. So I will see you guys. I will put out a video when I do the live stream for it. And it will be one of those things that I'll put out a couple days. I'm on vacation right now still. So it'll be sometime next week. Depending on how I feel, it might end up being on Monday, but just watch out for that video. If I do, I will put one up. Later, guys.